So, we know where we left off. Motherfuckers. So, Kayla, you find yourself now face to face with the doctor you brought from the town. And Layla, you're kind of standing. You see the doctor has his arm wrapped around Layla's shoulder. They're kind of looking down at you. You're kind of surrounded by Jericho's wings and tail. Kind of look down at you. And you just both, or the doctor just bows his head. What do you want to do?
I should have gone. It should have been me. You could have helped her better than me. She's looking at Layla.
At this point, Layla just kind of smiles, kind of leans up to you, kind of just says, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. We fixed everything. She kind of looks to the doctor and just smiles. Just kind of reaches up to you with a finger on her right hand and just kind of like, just taps the tip of your nose.
Kayla gently pushes Jericho off of her, stands up and faces Layla properly. And then she just grabs the collar of Layla's blouse.
As you do
She's
so,
gone. What is wrong with you? She's not just sleeping.
the smile doesn't leave her face as you kind of pull her in. As you kind of breathe in, you can almost smell the kind of almost haze and the smell of death on Layla's breath. She just kind of smiles at you. You see the eyes still kind of mismatched. You see one somber, the other jovial. She just smiles and just, I don't know what you mean. Raphael told me she's just asleep. She said she'll be waking up in no time. The doctor
Ki-
at this point kind of bows his head, kind of looks at you, Kayla, and just says, I will give you a moment. He kind of steps away for a second, moves back towards the door to the house. You see the door open and Raphael's head poke out for a second. The doctor vanishes inside.
Kayla just stares angrily, breathing heavily. I thought you cared for her. It doesn't bother you that her sleep will never end? That she
At
will
this point,
never wake again?
you see the smile just vanish from her face. You see the one eye that looks happy kind of fade. Almost like a little color from her green eyes is kind of lost. For a moment, you see the same consciousness that you recognize in this body. You just hear, what? What do you mean? This unstable voice leaks out of his body.
She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't even talk to me. She wanted you. Should have
But,
been me who gone after the herbs.
but
Should have been I who risked my life.
I, I just talked to her. Just, what do you mean?
Yes, and you believed her?
I,
Did you not see the state of her body?
you see at this point, her chest start to heave. Her breathing starts to speed up. You see the trails of tears on her face start to wet themselves again. She just kind of looks at you. I, I, she, she really gone.
Kayla's Kayla's features soften as she looks to the ground. She is, and it's my fault. I'm the one who sent you on a task that was too hard for you. A task that you never should have even attempted.
But
When you would have been better suited here.
but I
Better
was,
suited helping him. And then upon her return, helping Talia.
but I got the herbs, didn't I?
You did. And I'm proud of you for it. But what did it cost?
You see her kind of steal a glance to her hands. You see this moment of realization hit her. She just collapses in front of you, just all the way to the ground. She brings up both her hands, shaking in front of her face, just looking at the gloves she has on. What? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. She kind of takes her hands and puts them on the side of her head, just ignorant to the world around her.
Kayla kneels down in front of her and takes her hands, pulls her hands from her face, and just grips them tightly.
As you
Uh,
do, she tries to pull away. You see this kind of frantic nature that's completely unlike anything you've ever seen in her before. You see fear in her eyes.
Kayla doesn't relent. She continues to grasp Layla's hands, holding them
Her,
tightly.
her legs start to frantically kick the ground between you two as if she's trying to just claw herself away from you by any means necessary. Her hands just trying to slide out of your grip, just barely.
Kayla keeps pulling her closer, not caring if she gets hurt at this point. If Kayla gets hurt, I should say. But she's trying to pull Layla in. As much as she's hurting, she would rather comfort her friend than walk away from someone else she cares for dearly. Again.
As you kind of do this and you kind of pull her closer, you eventually move your hands from her hands to her forearms, to her elbows, to her biceps, to her shoulders, as you just progressively pull her in despite all of her flailings. As you kind of get to her shoulders, you're now face to face again. Her body's still almost convulsing on the ground. As she kind of makes eye contact with you, you just see her shake her head like she's trying to clear her vision for just a moment, she just shakes her head viciously. She just starts mumbling to herself, "No, no, 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 couldn't have been for nothing. No, no." She kind of just stops moving for a second. Her hands just kind of held in between your two faces. She kind of stares at them again. Her body just kind of goes limp in your arms.
As
You see
as
her.
as her body goes limp, Kayla pulls her in one more time and pulls her into an embrace, cradling Layla's head in her bosom. It's not your fault. You did the
Yeah,
best you could. I did the best I could. But
as you say that,
we were doing the wrong things. It should have been you here and me at the cave. I should have been the one to search for the herbs. But I sent you, the
you
person
don't get
who
it.
could actually talk to her. The person she cared about.
You don't get a response to that for a second. And then you just hear in a shaky voice, airy, like it's trying to not really speak the words. You hear them kind of leak out next to your ear. "I'm a monster." She kind of starts to pull away from you again, her feet once again just kicking wildly at the ground, trying to push herself away from you by any means necessary.
Kayla
I need,
continues to hold her,
I need you to roll
refusing to
an
let go.
athletics check to hold the grapple.
Oh, you didn't even need to roll that, you know.
Well, I didn't see it until after I rolled.
That wasn't that one, Andy.
That one, as you kind of try to hold her, she just contorts her body around your arms and just kind of slides out on all fours. She just kind of backs up. You see dust flying up around her. You see this conflicted, confused look in her eyes. Go ahead and make an insight check. Back to back nat ones, baby.
Fuck.
Back to back nat ones. You see her eyes kind of flit nervously from side to side. Something's wrong. You don't know what. She starts to back away from you now. You see her lips moving. You know that she's just repeating to herself, "I'm a monster. I'm a monster. I'm a monster." She
Kayla,
just backs away from you.
Kayla gets up and gets closer to her, tries to pull her into another embrace. She's not gonna let another one go.
As you do that, she kind of stumbles backwards. You see just the fear in her eyes. She just kind of struggles to speak. She just says, "Stay back. Please. Please."
You're not a monster. Your
She just
mistakes aren't the ones that caused this.
she just shakes her head.
Your stubbornness didn't cause this. You simply
Um,
did what you were told.
she just shakes her head. You still see forearms are still speckled and blood, hair from the rat she killed. She just kind of looks at you, shaking her head. "No, no, they're dead. It's my fault. It's because of me. I ran. I killed her." killed both of them.
Kayla cocks her head to the right for a moment, but then continues to approach her, continues to try to pull her into another embrace.
Go ahead and make another grapple check. Oh yeah.
17.
Oh yeah. Let's see what happens here. Yep. As you kind of just walk up, she's kind of trying to back away from you. She didn't see the root of the tree behind her. She kind of trips, falls to the ground on her butt, just kind of looking up at you. You kind of take that opportunity and you slide next to her. You wrap her in a strong embrace.
I'm not gonna lose another one. Not again.
You just feel her body start
First
to
I
shake
lost
in your
him,
arms.
then I lost Talia. I won't lose you.
You just feel her body start to shake in your arms.
You're not a monster. I don't know what happened out there, what you encountered. But you did your best to help Talia. And that's all that I asked for.
She kind
That's all
of
that any
looks.
of us could have asked for.
She
That's
just
not
looks up at
something a
you.
monster would do.
She looks up at you and you see the wetness in her eyes. She kind of shakes her head to get rid of the tears. And just looks back at you and just says, you said you needed to talk to me. And I couldn't talk. That means it's my fault.
No,
I couldn't have. I could have done more. I could have. I didn't.
it was the
I'm so weak.
choices I made. I sent you into uncertainty, into a dangerous situation that could have gotten you killed, that scarred you, that returned you to us as someone else. I did that, not you. If I had gone in your stead, if you stayed here, you would have been able to talk to her. You wouldn't have been hurt, and she wouldn't have been yelling at me to help you instead of trying to help her.
She just kind of looks up at you. I mean, what do you mean? And oh, what do you mean she wanted you to help me first?
Your shoulder, the
Kind of looks at it, sees the kind of bruising there, and as she kind of looks back to you, just through the tears in her eyes, just how could you? I would have been fine. It's just a shoulder.
I
Why did
know.
you?
I tried to help her first. She wouldn't let me. She kept pushing me away, yelling at me, calling me a monster, telling me that I hated her because I wouldn't listen.
At this point, Layla hangs her head, even though the ground is still moist from last night's storm. You see a few new spots of wetness appear in the dirt between you two. Her shoulders shake violently between some of the terrible sobs. You just hear her just murmuring to herself. No, 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 no.
Kayla holds her tighter. I'm not gonna let you go. I'm not gonna lose you. Not like I lost her. Not like I lost him. But
You,
I need you to.
you good, Atra? Did you just die?
Did you not hear?
I heard, I just need you to.
Oh yeah, no,
I
that
need to
Oh,
be
oh,
here.
that, oh, oh, I thought it was like T-O instead of T-O-O.
yeah,
Oops.
no, TOO.
Okay. She just kind of shakes her head one more time, clearing out the tears, and just kind of looks at you. Again, her shoulders shake. You see a single kind of strand of snot kind of dripping out of her nose. She kind of sees it. And through the tears, kind of wipes it with her hand. She just kind of lets you hug her. And you just stay in that position as the end of daylight leaves the two of you in complete darkness. The only light coming from small cracks in the boulder where faint flickering hearth light is coming from inside the house. You don't know how much time passes.
Kayla starts breaking down again. Starts
Some
silently sobbing into Layla's shoulder.
you guys sit together, sobbing into each other. Eventually, you hear faint footsteps coming in your direction. You have a little bit of light washed over you, coming from a metallic bullseye lantern.
God damn it, Katie.
You hear a voice. Are you two all right?
Kayla looks up. Who who is it?
It's the doctor.
No. We just lost someone very dear to us.
It was Dax.
He kind of sighs, nods. I understand. If there's something you left unsaid, there's one thing I can do to help.
Kayla sniffles a little bit. She rubs her eyes, wipes the tears from her eyes, looks at him. What could you possibly do at this point?
He kind of looks down. Give you one last chance to speak with her. He kind of pulls the two coins out of his pocket that you saw him grab from within the medicinal shop. Kinda plays with them between his fingers absent-mindedly.
Kayla looks over at Layla.
Layla's head kind of rises, makes eye contact with the doctor. She kind of stands up. You see her shoulders still shaking, her body position shows that she's racked with guilt. She kind of takes a few stumbling steps towards the doctor and just kind of gives him a big hug around the waist.
Big hug,
The
what?
doctor around the waist. The doctor kind of pauses for a second before wrapping his arms around her. One hand kind of instinctively going to her shoulders, the other kind of cupping the back of her head. You see his lips moving, but you can't make out the words.
Fucking Katie noises.
After a moment, they kind of separate. You see the tears streaming down Layla's face. She
What
kind
are
of
my ladies crying about? What's going on?
looks at. Is Tex here?
I am here.
You can be here.
I can be here.
Do you wish to be?
I wish to be here.
Perfect. Tex, as you kind of walk out, you ask that question. You see the doctor get a little defensive. Layla's shoulders stop moving. Oh, I had to catch her up. All right, here's the TLDR, Katie. Talia dead.
Oh,
Oh.
how'd that happen?
She
I have a video for you to watch if you want to know the details.
she Padma'd. We
She
did
what?
everything. We did everything to keep her alive, but she was sad girl.
Oh,
I mean, it's a lot more to it than that. But that at this point, Tex, he kind of say, "What are my ladies crying about?" You see Layla's shoulders just freeze. You see the faint, warm light from the lantern wash over her face. The shadows casting across her face, making it look almost like she only has half a face. Her eye, the one you can see, shimmers with something that you've never seen in her face before. She just kind of glares in your direction.
sorry.
You see Kayla still on the ground. She hasn't worked up the strength to stand yet. She just looks over at Tex. And this is the weakest anyone has ever seen her. Tears still streaming down her face. That sobbing hiccup as she just looks past Tex at the boulder house. She looks back up to the doctor. Can you really give us a chance to say goodbye?
For a little bit. Not long. But if it helps, I can do that.
Kayla looks at Layla one more time. Is it even right to be even Do I even deserve that?
Layla kind of stumbles towards you. You can see now the exhaustion racking your body. She kind of gets to you face to face. She puts one hand on where your shoulder meets your neck. She opens her mouth as if to speak, but just closes it. You see her Adam's apple kind of bobbing up and down as she's trying to hold back sobs. And she just nods her head and just kind of pulls you towards her a little bit.
Kayla doesn't resist at all.
You end up with Layla's hands pressed against the back of your neck and wrapped around you as she just holds you close after a couple seconds. She just says, "You definitely deserve to."
But she hated me in the end.
No,
She wanted me gone.
no, she didn't.
Tucker's just gonna like just sigh to himself, and then he's just gonna kind of just slide out, just just get out of this room. It's not a very good scene. It's kind of like
As this kind of happens, Layla pulls away. She kind of takes a step back towards the doctor, kind of gestures with her hands towards him, and just says,
oh god.
It just says loud sneeze. God damn it, Reese.
"Holy fuck, that was
Just
loud."
says,
You're right.
Talk
As
about a tension breaker.
she kind of gestures towards the doctor, and she just says, "This is my father." As you kind of look between their two faces, you can see the resemblance, the facial structure. They have similar body types. And suddenly it makes sense why Layla would know how so many herbs and berries worked.
Kayla. She closes her eyes for a moment. Try as she might, she can't take deep breaths as she tries to compose herself. She pauses for a moment and holds her breath until finally she lets out a long sigh and manages to pull herself to her feet. She looks at the doctor. She wants to smile, to say it's nice to meet him. But all she can muster is, "I would like to say goodbye."
He kind of nods. You can see his throat, the tightness, like he's getting choked up too. She kind of turns. You see the warm light of the lantern once again fall off the pair of you. He just turns and walks back inside. You hear that of the door open and close. You two are left outside once again. Layla kind of looks at you. She takes as deep of a breath as she can before it all comes back out in parsed sighs and almost fits of sobs. She kind of grabs your hand and squeezes it. Not hard, but maybe as hard as she can. She just kind of looks you in the eyes and just starts to pull you towards the entrance to the house.
Again, Kayla's not resisting. She tries to squeeze Layla's hand, but she's too mentally weak right now. All she can do is wrap her fingers around gently and allow herself to be pulled into the house.
As you get to the door, Layla stops and turns to you. She kind of pulls your head down a little bit and presses her forehead against your own and just whispers to you, "You deserve to speak to her. Don't question that." With that, she kind of opens the door. The two of you walk inside. As you look around, you see Raphael sitting in his chair. You see he has a heavy blanket over his legs. He's sitting, his elbows on his knees, head just buried in his hands, his glasses on the floor. You see the wet spot in the blanket below his face. You see the doctor standing next to the bed. And on the bed, you see wrapped in blankets a now motionless form of Talia, with a small teacup pig curled up on her chest.
As Layla pulls her past Raphael, Kayla's gonna look at him and she's gonna try to. I don't know if even I can do it right now. But as they walk past, she's gonna whisper, "I'm so sorry."
His head kind of lifts up for a moment. You can see the dark circles under his eyes. His eyes now sunken back into his head from all the tears. He just kind of looks at you. Although no words come out, you can tell that there's still warmth and understanding from his gaze.
Oops. Genie text. I'm sorry. Yes. It was Genie. Okay.
And as you kind of walk in, the two of them kind of walk in, text, you see them walk in and move forward. They don't pay you any attention.
Don't break another time. God damn it, Andy.
As you approach the side of the bed, you see that the doctor has prepared a small ritual You see chalk,
Yeah.
incense. You see herbs, the small brazier, all on the bed, kind of drawn around Talia's body. You see two golden coins kind of placed on each of Talia's eyes. The doctor looks at you, Kayla, and just says, "This only works if they want it to."
Kayla nods and approaches slowly. What what do I do?
I will I will cause the spell to work. I will reach out and I can tell her who's here to talk to her. And then the both of you will have a little bit of time to say anything you need to. If she is willing, she could potentially respond. But if she's not, this is like shouting into a lake. Kind of looks at you for the last indication of whether or not he should go through with it.
If we wait until I'm ready, we'll never do it.
He kind of nods his head as he starts to rub his hands together to initiate the spell. And you hear these faint words just spill out of his mouth, foreign, not normal words, as he starts to chant, "Arise, come here." And as he does so, you see the incense strewn around Talia's body start to burn. Doesn't leave any scorch marks, but smoke starts to fill the room. He places the herbs in the brazier, and they ignite into flames in front of him. And as he continues with the ritual, you see the chalk start to dissipate from around. You see the smoke almost coalesce above Talia's head. The two coins kind of slowly rust and fade and dissolve away. As the spell kind of takes hold, you see a little bit of the smoke kind of flow up in through Talia's nose and just vanish inside. He kind of looks at the two of you. The ritual's done. He kind of backs away to the farthest corner of the house.
Kayla takes one step closer and she just chokes out to Talia.
As you call out at this point, this homage, the body moves just slightly. The eyes pressed open just a little bit. And looks around the room. It sees you. You sees Layla in the back, and the doctor. Her eyes stare forward, and they look at you. It looks at itself in this empty state. Just looks up towards you. You caught me. Why?
Talia, I'm so sorry.
She looks towards you. There's nothing to be sorry for. I did what I wanted. And there's nothing else to say. Nothing else you could do. And, well, I guess we have some words, some time. But because I'm not staying too long, I'll talk. Because there's nothing else to lose, is there? Right? My hair's all messed up. And it's not nice to have this color on my skin. But hey, there's no pain. There never was any. No, there never will be. So there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be sad about. I'm happy, Kayla. Happier than I've ever been. And I don't need. There's no regrets. There's no sadness. I got exactly what I want. And you don't have to feel sorry. You should be glad. Because I'm happy now. Now that I'm not there to be a burden, it's gonna be a lot easier.
Kayla had just started to crack a smile, and then she mentioned the word burden, and the sadness returned to her face. You were never a burden. I loved you. I wanted to watch
That's.
you grow, and
I'm already as tall as I can get. There's no more growing.
Tom, no actual way.
I'm I'm gonna miss you. But if you
There's
truly
nothing.
are happy, as you say, then she manages a small smile. If you truly are happy, then that's all I need.
There's no need to cry. I was selfish. I did what I wanted. But it's okay. Because I just want you to smile. And I want you and Layla to smile. And I want you to bring other people's smiles. Mine will always be watching over yours and hoping that you'll always smile. And that's all I really need.
Tears continue to stream down Kayla's face,
Is it on right now?
but she still smiles.
I told you there's no
She's
reason to cry.
she's fighting with herself right now. She wants
Because
to break down
Okay.
and just scream and cry.
you
Okay.
said
But
that
for
I was strong,
20 piece?
but you're so much more stronger. So don't cry.
Which one do you get?
I'm
You
not
got the
allowing you to.
second or third one or something? Oh man.
Layla kind of places her hand
Uh,
on
I
your
thought it
shoulder,
was gonna be
Kayla,
10.
and kind of looks
Just a
down
rat.
at Talia and just kind of looks to both you and Raphael and just says, "Can I have a moment with just her?"
Pickaxe is in the. Oh, pickaxe too?
Kayla looks up at Layla, still smiling, still tears streaming down her face,
Oh, and
and
400
she just
XP?
nods. She gets up
Oh, no way.
and she makes her way to the
I'll
door.
boost up to literally a level 100.
As she opens the door, she steals one last look and shows that gentle smile of hers to Talia one last time. And then she walks out the door.
Raphael kind of stands up slowly, solemnly,
Yes.
and follows you out.
I was like, man, well, I don't know why you calling me.
And Layla just kind of
Get on.
goes down on her knees again next to the bed.
What on?
Just kind of looks at Talia and just says, "I'm so sorry."
Just like I told Kayla, there's
Oh, the
nothing to
game
be
of friends.
sorry for. If there's anything that's you're sorry for, it's that you're not riding Jericho.
Weird.
You're not smiling.
Always someone who doesn't know.
There's nothing to be sad
I
about.
swear to you, bro.
There's
Even
nothing
what
to
confirmed it,
cry
bro, was this
over.
one streamer named.
How could you expect
He's on
me
phase,
to smile?
but he said it. He's like, tell me
How?
the dude who can't go.
It's easy.
I was
You
like,
just
bro,
smile.
real,
You just
bro.
think about
I'm at the agency.
something that makes you
Four
happy.
kids gone.
It's automatic.
Bro, no, I have the tat.
It
That's
just
why, bro.
happens.
Yeah, I couldn't shoot, bro. This kid and I died both ways for my first.
It's not easy without you.
There's
Like, bro.
You see the dead corpse of Talia managing to actually show a glisten. It really doesn't matter. So don't say things like it does. You don't have to try to make me feel better. You don't have to. Because you don't have to.
You see her shoulders kind of shake.
Playing arenas, you gotta.
I'm not saying that for
Anyways,
you.
I was at the agency, caught 4 bodies.
I'm saying it
easy,
because it's
just
true.
like how I planned it when I landed the first
It's
2
not.
times and died.
4 bodies.
It's not true.
And
She
then
looks towards you with the classic Talia facade of a smile and looks upwards towards the ceiling. Maybe even peering past it towards the sky. You know, I once heard a really smart old man tell me that the strongest people, the fakest smiles. She looks towards you. I wonder what that meant.
She kind of, her shoulders kind of shake again. She just kind of shakes her head. We can still bring you back. We can take you somewhere else.
No. were the monkeys. They ran away. And I guess I'm like a monkey then. Because I guess I'm running away. And I don't want to think about it anymore, okay? Just don't make me think twice about that decision. It's what I've made. I don't need to think about it again. I made my choice. So don't try to make me regret it. Because the tears stream down her eyes, bead by bead. Because I don't regret it. Okay?
Layla just nods.
Hey, stop being a dumbass. You're being sad. You're not allowed to be sad. I told you. You gotta listen to me. You gotta listen to me, okay? Just stay happy. Just stay happy. Don't even think about me. I don't matter. I never will. I'm just some girl that let you into the woods where you didn't want to. Brought you to a place, scared you with a dragon, scared you with a random old man. Don't think about it too much. Okay?
Layla just nods, unable to say anything.
Don't even think about crying for me. There's absolutely no reason. I don't matter. Okay?
As she says this, the tears just start to
Stop.
roll out of Layla's eyes.
Stop it. Stop it. She kind of rubs the tears off your eyes and just kind of holds your face. The cold, bloodless fingers holding your face. Told you. Don't worry. None of it. None of it.
She kind of wipes her eyes with the backside of her shirt and just nods.
So just be happy. Think about how much food you save. Now that you don't have to feed me. And, well, I guess my hiding place, well, I guess it's not mine anymore because, making it difficult to just let go, I don't want to talk. I just want it to all go dark so that I don't have to. You just make me want to talk more. And
Layla just smiles and kind of takes one of Talia's hands and squeezes it.
you squeeze the lifeless hands of Talia. I'm gonna tell you about my favorite place in the Orange Lagoon. My favorite place. There's a side of the lagoon. There's a really bad drawing of a dragon. But you have to look at it at a certain angle. I made it when I was sad. And it's made with rocks that were shoved in the ground. Well, underneath that it's a cove underneath the surface. and I swim down there, and I go down. Remember the crystals? Remember the crystals underneath the monkey palace? There's crystals like those there. That's why they surprise me. That's why I want to collect them. Because I have crystals there. And they're shiny. They're beautiful. Unlike me. And there are so many of them. And when you sit there enough, and when you listen to the wind that blows in from the water, it's almost like the crystals sing to you. They sing to you, Layla. So one day, Layla, if you want to, go listen to the crystals sing for you. And she kind of looks down towards her body. I guess it's a strange thing to think about. The man in the forest, I asked him to help me get where I need to be. But it's funny that it took that random stranger in the woods to actually listen to me. I've asked people before if they could help me get where I wanted to be. He was quite compliant. He did it without hesitation. He put down his giant axes and just punched me and then
Stop.
tossed me off a cliff.
I don't need to hear this.
It just, yeah, and I'll leave you. No, then you don't need to hear that. I just thought, happy dots. Just, it was a good talk, and you don't need to hear any more from me, so doesn't matter, right?
She just kind of shakes her head, is just barely able to choke out a few words. She just says,
Hey,
I'm gonna miss you.
hey, what did I tell you? I don't matter, and you're not allowed to cry for me.
She just kind of shakes her head again and just says, you mattered to me.
No, you're just telling yourself that. And she kind of motions her dead face closer, kisses you on the forehead, and fixes your adjusts your hair. And she lays back on the bed, places her head downwards onto the pillow, and holds her hand towards the sky. You know, I always thought about what I can do that's really good. And people tell me it's because I can ride dragons. She holds a hand that faces towards the top of the ceiling. But I guess she looks towards you with this classic Talia smile. I guess I'm gonna be flying higher than dragons, huh?
Layla just nods.
I hate goodbyes. Hate goodbyes. But goodbye, dumbass. Okay? And don't call me. It's not fun. It's fun to talk to you, but it's not fun to. Never mind. Okay.
Layla just nods and hugs Talia.
Remember. And her body loses a little bit of color, a little bit of life. Her eyes begin to close inwards. Don't cry for me. Her eyes close. Dumbass. Her body falls limp. And you hear a
Layla kind of sits back up as Bottomless kind of moves up and crawls up next to Talia's head. Layla looks at the doctor and just, without another word, walks outside.
You'll see Kayla is sitting by the edge of the river, her head in her hands. She's not moving at all, just sitting there, holding her head in her hands, silently.
Layla just makes her way up to Kayla, sits down next to her.
What was that? Yeah.
Yeah. Just sits down next to her without a word. Just wraps her arm around her.
Kayla looks up at Layla for just a moment. She smiles at her. There's a genuine look in her eyes. She's sad. She's grieving. She misses Talia. But she's happy. She's happy that Layla's there. That she hasn't lost another person that she cares about. And even the most oblivious wouldn't need an insight check to read that off of Kayla's face.
Layla kind of smiles back. You see a little bit more warmth in her face than there was before. Like she got some closure. She just keeps her arm around Kayla's shoulders and just looks out into the river without another word.
Kayla rests her head on Layla's shoulder. She sighs heavily. She's still got that smile on her face. And she speaks up. Her voice is still strained. Her voice is still strained. She's still choking on her words, but she manages to get them out. Thank you. And I'd like to thank your father when I get the chance for giving me one last chance to speak with her.
Layla nods and just says, You'll you'll come out soon. He knows we need time.
Kayla
Catch.
wraps one of her arms. Kayla wraps her arm around Layla and just continues leaning on Layla's shoulder. Sitting there in silence.
As time passes, neither of you move. Just kind of sitting there. Tex, what are you doing?
He's just going through his letters and stuff that's in the pile outside the house. And he's just reading during and tossing them. Most of the letters are just very like just wanting him to come there, and it's just really depressing. Or they're either wanting him to come or cussing him out
Or wanting him to
as
come?
he left. Yeah.
Or wanting him to come.
Or they're cussing him out or calling him a traitor or just
Calling him a deadbeat dad. You know, the usual.
The huge.
As you
A
kind of go
deadbeat
through
dad
your
or a
letters.
deadbeat Chad?
Why not both? As you go through the letters, Tex, just letter after letter after letter after letter.
just falls
Eventually,
into
you kind of go and make a letter angel
it.
in your pile of letters until one kind of falls on your face. It's got a beautiful golden inscription, gold trim around the letter, beautiful seal, maybe even made out of platinum.
I open it.
As you kind of open the letter, you gotta look inside. It might be one of the smallest letters that you've gotten. You kind of unfold this small piece of paper, and it just says, Tex, you don't know me, but I'd
That's
like to meet you.
mm,
If you're interested, please come to the Crystal Palace. You'll know where to find me. It's unsigned. The script is beautiful, tall, long, cursive.
Crystal Palace. I look back at the house.
Well, that's certainly not crystal.
Yeah, no. I look back at the house and I'm just like, I guess it's about that time to leave anyway.
That's just where you buy your meth.
Yeah.
No, that was the village.
You know, I scored my kiss, and tragedy happened again. So it's about the right
Oh god, I hate that I just laughed.
time.
What's wrong, Robert?
As
Alright. Yeah, he's just gonna just head back into the house. He's not gonna even bother with the other leathers, you know. And then yeah, he just opens the door. He gets his things, and then he looks back at the door that leads into the room where everybody's in.
It's a one-room home.
It's a one room house.
Then he just goes to get his things. Doesn't really look at anybody. And, he goes, and then as when he collects his things, he walks back towards the door. And then he goes and he looks back at the group just one last time.
As you're about to leave, you hear a voice behind you. And where are you going? Leaving so soon, aren't you?
Well, it's about that time. Plus, I'm needed elsewhere.
Raphael kind of looks down over you, over his glasses at you. Well, if you have to go, you have to go. It's been good to know you, Tex.
You too, Raph. He just bows his head and tips his invisible hat, and then
A lady.
yeah, he goes, and then he just looks at Layla one more time. Just that last booty look.
God damn, Katie.
He's, but he sighs, and then he goes and he closes the door.
As you kind of close the door, you steal your one last glance at Layla sitting on the bank of the river next to Kayla. You just take a deep breath, look up into the sky, see the moon just barely starting to peek out from behind the clouds. You breathe in the cool, crisp air coming in off the river, and it invigorates you as you start to walk off into the woods.
Oh,
You turn around right at the edge, steal one final glance at the house before you vanish. Hours tick by. Layla just frozen in place at the riverbank, sitting as if glued in place, just lost in her own mind, but happy to have someone nearby. As the sun starts to peek over the horizon, reflect off the river, this beautiful golden light washes over Layla and Kayla. A light that is warm and happy. You can't help but think that maybe there's a little something else going on there. As this morning finds you, the doctor comes out, tired, exhausted. You can see even he has streaks from tears down his cheeks. Comes up next to the pair of you as this warm light washes over the two of you and you feel warm. He just crouches down behind you guys and puts a hand on each of your shoulders. He just says to Layla, I need to go back to the village. Your mother will be waiting for me. He then looks to you, Kayla. And even though you're not looking at him, he says, thank you as well for giving me a chance to help my daughter.
Kayla smiles at that, and then he'll hear her weakly just say, thank you for all that you've done.
He kind of smiles, nods. I'm sorry I couldn't have been of more help. And see how much the girl meant to you.
Want a helicopter?
That he kind of straightens up, straightens down his clothes, brushing them off with his hands, picks up his bag and shoulders it. I hope you come home soon, Layla. House isn't the same without you. With that, he kind of starts walking away from the two of you,
I just stoked it with 3.
back towards his village, away from the sunlight, still washing over you two. A few seconds pass. You can't even hear his footsteps anymore.
Bless you.
Those were sneezes. Bless you.
Bless you.
I had no idea. I thought you were doing sound effects.
Bless you. Yeah. See, I'm too used to my sneezes. Bless you.
Bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you.
You only get one.
We're on the bottom.
And what are you talking about, Reese? You didn't sneeze, the doctor did.
Yeah, then we're down. They're right here.
God damn. I'm emotionally
They want
shot.
light? Oh shit. Nice. Where?
Whew. So Andy, where's Riri? Is he,
Riri.
is he coming in? Or is she coming in hot? But as the light kind of washes over Layla and Kayla,
See that purple
a familiar creature stomps up behind you guys, curls up in the sunlight, basking in the warm
Yeah, you take the
happiness. Jericho kind of wraps his tail around you two, puts his head in Layla's lap, just looks at you, Kayla, and goes, "Yap, yap, 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 yap."
They got minis on me though too.
Kind of stretches his wings better because of the treatment you gave him.
I'll shoot him through the window.
Kayla smiles at Jericho, and with her free hand, she reaches over and starts patting him on his
Let
cheek,
me take this helicopter.
gently caressing his cheek.
As you do so, you can feel the kind of sadness,
People fighting over there.
loss within Jericho. He understands what's happened, but
No.
He's still here for you guys.
Oh damn! I should have been fishing this whole time. That's what I wanted to do. 3 fishing spots right here.
Damn, I also wanted to be fishing this whole
Got a
time.
supply drop to our left. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm getting hit. I'm getting hit. Bro, they're over there. They're back there. Go over this way.
What the fuck?
Alright.
Send me down, bro. Just
So,
send me down. Just send me down.
Layla, roll me a perception check.
I fail it.
Great. And I'm done. And I'll go
And I'm
charge my
done.
I opened the sheet and I was like, that's a no from me, dog. Now I'll roll it.
Great.
I
He
know.
fails it.
Oh, Joe.
Going for the supply drop.
At this point, as you sit around, just acknowledging the atmosphere
Another one?
of everything,
Fuck
the
yeah.
chapter over, when you know someone doesn't want you to
Whoa,
think
what?
of that, you hide the dots in the recesses of your mind and shove it in there, cage it up,
Yeah,
and
people shooting across
throw
the
away
way.
the key.
Shooting these
You
guys.
don't need it.
Oh, they just opened up. They just opened up. They just opened up
And
right here. They have the supply drop.
fate just has a weird way of
I'm
working.
gonna C4 this kid.
As you hear around you, there's a sound that floats across, and as you peer near your feet, there's a rather nobly bordered,
Where you
blue and
going,
gold
boy?
tinted letter
Where you going, boy?
of an elegance that
This guy just put down a
you've
launch
seen
pad.
before.
Oh, goodness.
I looked
Gonna
around
look at
too.
Look at the letter. And look at Kayla
I'm
next to
dead.
me. And I just say,
Fuck me, bro.
you want to see something cool?
Kayla smiles. She looks at Layla. Never thought I'd hear you be the one to say that. Of course I do.
She kind of picks up the letter with,
Yes, one
for the
guy.
first time in a few days, form of excitement, rips it open.
You rip it open, rip it open, and you tear into the letter inside. That can't be harmed even with the savage when you open the letter. As you do so, the letter pops up into your hand, and you see that on the letter itself is a rather awkward introduction. Hey, person I talked to once. Yeah. And there's a small little bead in the middle of it that seems to be interactable. The rest of the leather is empty. You look down at the bottom of it. Um, so if you want to talk, um, I thought about it, and I don't have much to do now that, as I told you before, Tex wasn't here to talk to me. You want to talk? It's a bead that you put into your ear, and it does things. I couldn't afford a shower of lights. I'm sorry, but maybe in the future. And there's this drawn, happy face. Gia.
I kind of pick up the bead and I kind of hold it out in front of me, not holding it to my ear yet. I kind of show it to Kayla and I say, I may have stolen a letter from Tex's pile. And
Kayla giggles at that.
inside
You're
the letter
you're
was
more bold than I thought.
Give me some credit.
I just did.
And she just says, and inside was this
No, we would
figure that appeared out of nowhere and talked to me. And
no, we could
it
get
was
you
this
thank
girl. Her name was Gia.
drop a mic kid.
And this, she says, kind of holding the bead up, should let us talk to her.
I need minis.
Layla kind of holds the bead up to her ear and just says, Gia.
You kind of speak into it. As you do so, it glows and then listen inwards, and this is a glow that you've never seen before. The only thing of relative similarity to it is your gloves and the color of the teal-like glowing plasma that is the string in your hands. And as you do so, the bead begins to light up, and this faint noise comes into hearing, and you hear. Oh shit! It's on. I think they can hear me. Uh, Hi.
Can Kayla hear it as well, or is it just me?
It's the bead that can speak outwards. It's either Bluetooth or headphone.
Can I like position myself so that the bead is like can I hold it so that it's between both of our ears?
Cool. It's a weird exchange, but you do
So
so.
like we're facing opposite directions, so like our ears are super close together.
Even better. It's like you're sharing headphones in the car listening to music.
I was
Basically,
about to say,
it's
As you-
that's what I'm going for.
it's the
as
old sharing the same iPod.
good.
Oh
You kind
fuck
of
that!
do so, and it's like, hey, um, so I'm Gia. I am bad at names. So yeah.
Hi, Gia.
Um, hey.
My name's Layla,
Oh,
Hit this guy
hey, Layla.
17.
and
Yeah,
I have a friend here. If that's okay.
oh,
I need
that's
small
a
ammo.
lot more people than I expected.
Did you expect no one then?
But, I, I, would it be bad if I said yes?
Kayla giggles at that question.
So, I don't talk to much people. So this is. She sneezes. I'm sorry about that.
I flipped up the mic this time.
That was a
That
mighty sneeze.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm making artwork right now. It's actually I was working with pepper and salt, and it's a cacophony of different condiments I found, and it's a strange hobby that it, I'm sorry, I was talking about stuff. Like, you probably don't care, but yeah. How are you?
Certainly been better.
Um, that's good.
Oh
Silence
no,
passes.
one of our friends just. She kind of pauses. They're not.
Did you
They're
cut
not.
off there?
They're not here anymore.
I know.
Oh, did they go on a trip? Because my sister goes on a lot of
Oh my
trips,
fucking god.
and well, I kind of miss her at times, you know.
She kind of smiles. Yeah. Yeah, just a trip.
Oh, okay.
Of sorts.
It's
It was like
probably a good trip.
flipping. Wait,
It's your
what?
friend, so she probably makes good decisions and goes to good places. And yeah, where'd she go? Is she visiting like a different plane? Where's she visiting?
Something like that. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So okay. you're Layla, right?
That's me, yes.
And the other one is.
I'm Kayla.
Oh, that's. Are you like sisters with names that similar?
Kayla giggles. Not at all.
Are you
I
sure?
I move my head away from the bead and I mouth to Kayla, we should have switched
So
names.
wholesome.
Kayla actually breaks out laughing at that.
Hey, what's. I. Did, did something stupid again, didn't I? I can save
No,
this.
no,
No,
no, no, no, no, Gia, it wasn't you.
Oh,
Layla's just showing me that she's far more bold than I ever gave her credit for.
oh,
And it's very pleasing to see.
is there that something I'm, yeah, I'm just not in the loop. I think that's how you say it. I want to ask what happened, but at the same time, I don't know if that's intruding, and I'm sorry.
Oh no, she just.
I just made a joke.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, jokes. People tell those, I think. Yeah. So, um, I'm sorry. I'm just not used to talking to much people, and it gets awkward really fast. And I, I, I'm sorry. I just don't.
Oh, you have nothing to apologize for. This was, believe it or not, a much needed conversation for the both of us.
No. Did something bad happen?
Well, let's just say you've brightened our day, and leave it at that.
Well, yeah. That's that, that you're dang welcome.
Thank you, Gia.
Uh, I, I really didn't do anything. I just sent a letter, you know.
We were very happy to get your letter.
Oh, I just I didn't write much in it, and at the very bottom, I think I wrote too much, and I it just it was an unbalanced letter, you know. It was because a letter you're supposed to write things in it, and
It was
um
perfectly fine.
oh
I
that's
think it was just what it needed to be. No more and no less.
oh that's a different response than I'm used to.
But uh, was there a particular reason you sent us the letter? Or
Oh,
me, rather?
uh, I guess it's I was reading a book, and first time in a bit, I was putting down my art and decided to just read a story, you know. And I was reading this story about it was a weird one. There was this strange knight that found a girl in a tower and started making me think about how people go to lengths to try to help those they love. And I was thinking about how I don't talk to much people, and well, I kind of sit in my tower all the time and don't do much. So I was thinking about just um, talking to someone because I guess I wanted to just talk to someone. If you know,
Oh, Katie died.
Rip.
Kayla looks at Layla and smiles. And she leans over and whispers at Layla. Perhaps we could go, visit her?
Layla kind of smiles and kind of nods her head really quickly.
Let's see
Are
how she
you
feels about that.
kind of into the bead? Layla just says, "Are you asking for rescue?"
There's nothing to be rescued from. I'm just in my room a lot, and I have a lot of time.
So what you're saying is you would like for someone to come and visit you?
Uh, uh, you hear her audibly scratch her head. Um, I'm not sure. Never been asked that question before.
It sounds like you need visitors.
Uh, okay. Should I tell my parents?
Um, depends. How do they feel about dragons?
Uh,
Kayla giggles at that one.
she kind of thinks about it. It, is it gonna be dangerous? Because I don't know how to feed a dragon, but,
Oh, don't you worry about feeding Jericho. I can find the food for him. And
what's a Jericho?
he's the sweetest little dragon you'll ever meet.
Oh,
As you say this, Jericho goes.
oh, that's a noise.
Kayla looks down at Jericho. Yes, we're talking about you. And saying nothing but good things. And she scratches him behind the ear as she says that.
He kind of nuzzles into your hand as you do so.
Oh, whoa, what's this?
Oh, whoa. What's this?
So, if you want to visit, I don't know how that works. My sister usually has more visitors than I do, so maybe I'll ask her. But I just stay in my room and um I'm sorry, I'm just not used to this. It's
Oh, we don't
completely out
need
of my.
anything special. We can just
But
sit and chat in person.
oh
No need for this, as amazing as this little trinket is. No need for a special bauble that allows us to speak without seeing.
oh um I just thought that it'd be easier if people just didn't see. I mean, just talk to me instead, you know?
Oh, it's a wonderful idea for keeping in touch when you can't see each other. But, and she looks over at Layla, talking in person is so much nicer.
Oh, um, I, I think that strange. I think Tex said that once before too. Um, I guess if multiple people are telling me that, then it's probably right. But
Well,
my
we
room
got
is
to
in the
meet
neatest.
Tex once,
Oh,
and while he wasn't exactly the most pleasant experience I've ever had, I guess I can say he does know a few things if he's saying things like this.
I kind of mime like a kissing face and then like stick my tongue out and be like, he doesn't know how to kiss.
Kayla puts her fist up to her mouth and you can see her laughing, but she's holding it back. She's not making a sound.
So it's decided then. We
um,
will come rescue you from your tower and be your knights in
uh,
shining armor.
I wouldn't call it a rescue. I wouldn't. It you don't have to wear armor. You don't have to do that. It's not needed.
That's good. I only have one dress anyway.
Oh,
And all I have is my fur. She looks down. Oh, it does need to be cleaned, doesn't it?
well, if you want to clean, my nurse usually does that.
Okay. Perfect. Well, if you are okay with it, then we will come see you, and then we can get our clothing cleaned off there. Then.
Yeah, you can just don't try to bring too much fruit because I have allergies and it's not good when my allergies act up. It's that condition, and it's just a room. It's okay, but when you get here, don't ask too many questions. Um, okay.
So, where in where is your kingdom then, Gia? Where do we need to go to come pull you from your tower?
Ah, um, um, I guess it's a bit vague to say the sky.
Uh, what do you mean? The sky?
Uh, the sky, like the sky. You know, the place with the clouds, with the rain and sky.
You live in the sky.
Uh, yes.
I kind of look over to Kayla and do like the cuckoo motion.
Kayla smiles and just gives that, I don't know, shrug.
So, where do we need to go then if you're in the sky?
Um, it depends. Usually, the people that come here can fly, so they just fly up.
Well, but where are you? Can you fly up from anywhere?
Um, I'm actually not sure about that. Um, one of our butlers, I think he's good at maps and cartography. Um, believe that he can speak to you if you want an exact location. I don't really um think about these things. I don't tend to leave my tower, so I don't really know how to leave or get up. I just vaguely hear stories and word of mouth from my sister.
Well then, I do believe if we are to rescue you, we'll have to speak with that butler of yours.
Oh, um, okay. Uh, so should I go find him or?
I mean, Kayla looks at Layla. The sooner the better, I'd say, yes?
Yes, of course. I mean, we have a few things to wrap up here, but then we can leave immediately.
Oh, um, so you're coming today?
Would you rather us wait?
No,
I
it's
mean,
just
I'd rather come today, if it's all the same.
it was just it was just a lot, because I don't know how people usually talk, but it's interesting to send a letter one day and have the letter recipients come to your home immediately.
It's called Friends.
Um, heard of those? Um, okay. Uh, yeah. Um, sure. I will be right back, and I will ask my butler if you can come over. Okay?
Just, also, make sure that, um, if there are guards at the tower, that they don't shoot any bolts at any black dragons.
Oh,
That would be great.
okay. So black
S-
dragons, right?
Specifically, a black dragon with 2 women riding it.
Oh, okay. Um, sure. Uh, that's really specific, and I've never asked that question before. And I forgot it. So could you repeat that?
Don't shoot the dragon,
Okay,
please.
hold on. Let me write that down. You hear the rustling of paper as she takes something up, and she's like, "Okay, okay. You can say it again."
Please don't shoot the dragon.
Want me to write down those sounds as well, or
No, that's fine. We
okay?
we don't quite understand the code yet either.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. So I'll be right back, and yeah. You hear her as like she pushes a chair backwards, and you hear her stand up, and the footsteps. You hear a door. There's silence, but the beat is still glowing, like it's left on. And you hear silence, silence, more silence.
You kind of whisper to Kayla, "Is she crazy or are we crazy?"
Honestly, with all I've seen since coming here, I don't know what crazy is anymore. I mean,
That's reassuring.
I fell through a portal while cooking dinner one day to get here. And since then, I've seen a man pop out of a geyser. I've seen Tex and made friends with a dragon. I've fished a literal swordfish, and I'm not talking about the actual swordfish, a fish with a sword in it, out of the ground. And we found this magical rock. Oh, do you think we should bring the rock?
Oh, that would be hilarious. We should totally bring the rock and see if she can lift it.
Oh, yes. But, yeah, I don't think I know what crazy is anymore. And quite frankly, so far, I'm liking what I've experienced.
And as you
Mostly.
say that, no perception check. You hear murmur in the background.
15.
Nice. Layla
Oh, I guess I'm listening too, aren't I? Well,
holds the headphones in each other's ears. All right, I'm listening.
perception -1. Haha, that's
Wow.
a 0.
Oof.
Kayla, you hear in the you hear in the background. I'm having friends over. Absolutely not. You cannot do that, young lady. But why? Well, because we're a kingdom, and you can't just have simpletons walk into our palace. But they sound nice. Well, they could sound nice, but they could also be assassins or individuals that want to attack you. So, if by that regard I am saving you, Your Majesty, I, I that's not. You said you'd do everything for me. Well, yes, and I am doing something for you, Your Majesty. I am obeying the law, and I am keeping you safe. That is my number one priority, and well, I'm doing it. I, I,
Um,
you can't speak. You're not in earshot range. I'm just saying it louder so you can hear.
No, but she doesn't realize that, so she's gonna try
Okay.
to speak into it and see if they can hear her.
Cool.
Hello?
Roll performance check.
4.
You said it out loud. I wanted to talk to someone. And you can. You can talk to me. I talk to you every day. Well, yes, I'm your butler. Who else are you supposed to talk to? Me and the nurse. That's your assigned individuals, and that's who you talk to. That's who you confide to, and we are here for your being. I don't want you to be here for my being, but that's what you get, Your Majesty. Don't hold that tone with me. Go back to your room.
Hello?
Second performance check.
3.
Go back to your room, Your Majesty.
I whisper to Kayla, do we need to yell?
Maybe.
Silence.
I take the bead and I put it inside my mouth and I just scream, hello!
Performance check at advantage.
That's what I'm talking about. Give me that advantage, that good.
Wow.
17.
Holy shit, lifesaver.
For
The nat
real.
one dodge.
As you do that, you kind of blare the mic and you hear a little bit of that feedback actually sounding words, and you kind of simply take it back out. And as it do so, you hear a silence. Your Majesty, what is that? It's nothing. Felt like there was other voices in your room. There's no one there. Well, how do you explain voices in your room?
Kayla whispers
Move
to
aside, Your
Layla.
Majesty.
I hope
Move
we
aside,
didn't
Your
get her
Majesty.
in trouble.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
I whisper to
Okay.
Kayla, should we say we're ghosts?
Just
Oh, yes.
come on.
I
That would
hand the
be
bead
so
to
much
Kayla.
fun.
I'm just don't go in my room. I'm as the person you're guarding. You are not allowed in my room, Your Majesty.
Oh, don't enter the room.
Your Majesty, what is that noise? It's it's no one, Your Majesty. Are you hiding
I'm
something from me?
just a ghost.
What intonation is that noise? Just go away from my room, Jera.
You should listen to her, Jera.
Your Majesty, if you stole another one of your father's artifacts in order to do your little charades when you pretend you are sociable in order to impress your sister, I will tell your father. I just don't tell no. Just I will tell your father. Let's give it back to me.
I take the bead back from Kayla and I just say, we are here of our own volition.
Your Majesty, whatever is the.
And
Move aside.
Terra,
Move aside,
only
Your Majesty.
you can hear us.
No. You're not allowed. Move aside, Your Majesty, or I will be forced to remove you myself. And you hear this skirmish. It's right behind the door. And you hear a little bit of rustling, the moving around of wood, the banging of that furniture. And as you do so, move aside, Your Majesty. I don't want you to move aside, Your Majesty. I don't want you to hear a smack across the face. Silence. Silence.
Kayla looks at Layla, a look of shock in her eyes. Do you think we went too far?
Do we keep going?
The door.
Kayla immediately takes the bead back. How dare you slap Gia?
You say that.
We're going to inform the king.
No response.
You have brought harm to your charge.
Silence. Is this who you were conversating with, Your Majesty? It doesn't concern you. You're speaking up to me again, Your Majesty.
No, I'm not, Jera.
Exactly what I thought. The marble shuts off.
Well, I guess I know where we're going.
Without hesitation?
Well, I have one more thing to do here, but something will go right.
So,
Well then, let's go put our affairs in order and make way.
As Layla and Kayla stand up, Layla takes the bead and pockets it just in case. And as they head back towards the stone hut, Jericho kind of follows behind. As you enter the stone house, you see Raphael, the body of Talia, nowhere to be seen. He kind of straightens himself as you enter. So, are you feeling better?
Kayla smiles gently at Raphael. She approaches him without saying a word, and just gives him a tight hug. I will never forget the time I spent here. I will never forget Talia. And I will never forget you. I hope that I'll see you again one day. But if I
I
don't, thank you for everything.
He kind of reciprocates the hug and he says, I'd say the same, but I've forgotten a lot of women.
Kayla just sort of chuckles at that, and she places a gentle kiss on his cheek.
and I'll
Thank you
take
for
this
everything
one-liner.
you've done for us.
He looks towards you. If you were a little older, I would marry you.
Kayla actually gives that sweet girly giggle. And if I were so inclined, I'd say yes. You are truly a gentleman, Raphael.
And if you said yes, I wouldn't be able to afford the ring.
Well, she sort of fiddles with the necklace around, hanging around her neck. I've never been one for jewelry. This is the only one I have. So I wouldn't have needed one. But the thought is appreciated.
Very well. If you would like, maybe not jewelry, but maybe a fish, I'll get one from the dirt for you.
That would have been wonderful.
Well, if you ever want to speak with me again, I'm the crazy man in a stone hut in the middle of the woods that fishes in dirt, as you know.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, Raphael.
Hmm. Quite the youngsters.
At this point, Layla walks up to Raphael, just kind of gives him a soft smile and a half-hearted hug, and just looks into his eyes and just says, I'll be back. I
His
promise.
hand, his hand instinctively comes back and pats you on the head. They always do. He kind of pats your head for an abnormally long amount of time. It's awkward. He realizes that and takes his hand off. I'm sorry. It's a force of habit.
Oh, I need a 5-minute break. My brain is toasty. I'll take a break and I'll be right back.
All right, break it is. You turn towards it. A small little boomerang. It moved. Strange.
Can I look at the boomerang before I touch it?
What are you looking for?
Any inscription? Anything that might key me into something that I could justify making it move?
No investigation or arcana, your choice.
Don't think I'm really good at either of those. Oh wait, I have intelligence. Quattro.
Wow. You're dumbfounded. It's a small boomerang. It's probably just the wind. Oh, you've seen surprises before.
Kind of kick it with my foot. Flip it over.
As you kind of kick it, you kind of boom, hit something. You're confused. The boomerang lifts up and just kind of floats in the air, and then you hear. And then the boomerang begins to float away from you.
I'm gonna shoot it with my web.
As you fire it forwards, it roll a hit with it. Roll d20 at your arcana. You're still not proficient in it, I would say. Use it a little bit more.
That's 8 plus 10 total.
Great. As you toss it forward, and it doesn't hit the boomerang. It hits the space behind it. And it just, the web stops in air. You hear little cries.
Kind of slowly walk towards it. Put my hand on the boomerang.
You kind of do so, but you're not able to fully touch it except on the ends.
That's fine. I'm just seeing if touching it does anything.
You're touching the boomerang, but there's some space around it that feels inherently lettery, sticky, watery, slimy, strange. It's like something invisible's there, holding the boomerang.
I deactivate the glove.
As you snatch it open, the boomerang is to slowly just dart away from you.
I just shout out, "What are you?" "I'm a friend of Talia."
As you say that out loud, there's a silence. And the boomerang that was hidden in the crevice after about a minute. About 20 seconds of silence. Slowly comes out. You hear racing footsteps. The boomerang looks towards you, then away from you, towards the pile. It races back towards the pile of strange collectibles. He places the boomerang back on top.
I just look in the empty space and I just say, "I won't take anything. I promise.
It just kind of squeals back towards you.
Can you show yourself?
Insight check.
Da 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 da. Bad whiz sucks. 3.
They're soft little yelps. They're confused and they're extremely young. They're lonely, lonely yells. There's something that has nothing else to do but wait.
Do you know Talia, the girl who comes here?
As you do
Can-
so, he squeaks once more.
Can you do 1 for yes and 2 for no? So
Just
do you know Talia? Did she take care of you? Kind of look around. Can I see you?
silence. You look at the pile of trinkets. Whatever was there, it's doing a good job of hiding.
Can I move back to the pool? And just say back, can I say? I don't know if she's ever coming back.
He cries back. Its cries in dissonance with the crystals singing.
Do you need someone to take care of you?
Silence. It learned from the best.
I kind of sigh, put my feet back in the water, and I just say, goodbye then, friend.
Silence.
If you ever see her again, tell her I miss her. What's that? Gonna go back into the water.
No perception check.
Da 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 da. The whiz sucks. Oh, 17.
You peer behind you. In that soft instance, as you begin to go into the water, you hold your breath and go on. You peer back towards the surface, and a soft glimmer shows. A small, small little lizard on the ground, staring at you. So small, so delicate.
And just smile one last time before I go back under the water and out of the pool.
It stares at you with these kind eyes that are ever so familiar. There's a
Gonna
rhythm
look.
on its body.
before it vanishes.
Just smile. Realizing that I've said all I can say. We go back in the water, back to the surface. Swim back down through the passageway. Burst through the surface of the pool. Out of breath. Take a few strokes towards the side, and as I crawl out, kind of shake any excess water off me and start to put my clothing back on. I look to Kayla.
Kayla's sitting there, still looking to the sky, her eyes head still tilted towards the sky. Her eyes are closed, and she's got her right hand gently covering the pendant hanging from her neck. She's got the most peaceful smile you've ever seen her carry.
Layla kind of creeps forward, does her best to quietly put her clothes back on. And as she does so, she then approaches Kayla, who's wrapped up next to Jericho. Just says, whispers and says, Kayla.
Kayla opens her eyes and looks at Layla. Did you see what you needed to see down there?
You see her take a deep breath. Yes, I've done what I can. I feel comfortable leaving now.
Kayla nods and stands up. She takes one last look at the drawing as she readies herself to take the terrifying flight to wherever their destination is.
As Layla gets back on Jericho's back, she kind of looks down, almost longingly, the surface of the water. Just imagining how it would have been to come here with Talia.
Kayla places her hand on Layla's hand and just looks up at her and smiles. I'm sure, given the time, she would have brought you here eventually, she says as she climbs back on and holds on tight.
A faint smile kind of creeps across Layla's face. She just looks at Kayla, smiles a warm, happy smile. Just says, I'm just glad I got to see it.
Kayla lays
Yeah.
her head against Layla's back. If anyone deserved to see it, it's you.
You can't see it, but you can feel gentle shaking in Layla's chest as she tries to suppress a small sob. With that, she kind of flicks the rein. Jericho flaps his wings. Starts to elevate above the trees. You look back one last time, the small alcove, with a beautiful mural made with stones by its edge. And from the air, they all look so happy, holding hands together. With that, Jericho takes off, now speeding low along the treetops. You can almost feel each and every tip of every tree like it's about to take your head off as you fly by, flying low and fast. Layla's bent down low over Jericho's neck. You can't see from your position, but she has a huge smile across her face as she just enjoys the rush of flying through the air on the back of a powerful young dragon. After a few minutes, she kind of slows down, sits up, starts to move upwards. And as you break through the clouds, you see the beauty of the sun high above you, shining down on the tops of all these fluffy white clouds. You kind of look around, roughly in the direction that Raphael pointed you in to go to the floating city. Layla kind of looks back towards you, Kayla, getting more and more comfortable in the back of the dragon. Looks back to you and just says, "We have a princess to save, don't we?"
Kayla smiles. She lifts her head up off of Layla's back and stares forward. And you hear her mutter, "Donal, please, let me be as strong as you were." Before she looks at Layla and simply says, "Yes, and save her we shall."
With that, Layla gently flicks the reins of Jericho. You hear the kind of satisfied "Rah, rah, rah," as he kind of starts to take off, gaining speed through the air kind of buffeting all of your faces. You kind of get low to try and ride in Jericho's slipstream. You can kind of hear him just cruising through the air, the clouds below you flying by. You can hear his happiness of being up in the skies again, even though there's a little bit of sadness there. You can tell that he's happy to have someone to fly with. Whew. I almost want to end it there on a happy, wholesome note. I don't know how you guys are doing.
I'm good. I mean, it's up to you guys ultimately. I can keep going. If you guys want to stop, I'm.
Oh. Hmm. Mhm. Disgusting.
Healing.
Happy sesh. Happy sesh.
Recovery
Happy sesh.
sesh?
Just don't give me the baton. Andy will fucking kill us all. He won't even blink.
What's wrong, Andy? Why don't you want the baton? Don't you want to make us suffer?
No. 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 No one wanted that for her, though.
No. No, we didn't. Bet. And no, I'm not teasing the typo.
Sometimes you just need just a teensy bit of happiness. Not a lot. Just a little. Or get to her. What do you mean we're getting to her? We're getting to her big time, brother.
We're on our way.
As long as you don't give me a PC. Oh, God.
What about a Mac?
Fuck that bullshit. Oh. Man. I needed all of that. I needed all of that so badly.
I mean, personally, I could have gone with more torment. But I loved that.
You know,
That was so wholesome.
sometimes a good crying through your like you're smiling but you're crying. Sometimes that's what you need.
I mean, this morning, that's exactly what I was doing.
Now this morning I was just crying.
You know, before Masochist woke up, I
Yeah,
was
this morning
smiling
was just
through all of my tears.
this morning was just pure tears, nothing else.
Oh, but they tasted so good.
No, they didn't. Shut up. Stop being weird. Wow, that was yeah, Andy. Well, what did you think we were gonna do? Just let you ride off into the sunset on that note? Nah, nah. You got to go through the funeral.
What?
You got to go through the funeral, bitch.
Why would I do that? I've made amends. I don't have to do anything. Because my character doesn't exist. I don't
No,
have one.
no, you don't.
But, if you get the Gia, I guess I'll have to play a character. But for now, I have nothing. I have no reason to fire a bullet. Because I'm not holding my knife right now. No reason to. I'm just.
It's okay, we know you have it within arm's reach.
No, it is. I could at any time be like, Robert, let me play this character. But where's the fun in that? Why don't I lock my own character up into a tower? Ah, I love daddy issues. Ah,
It's just daddy issues. It's fine.
another innocent little girl. And I already have a psychopath ready.
A pro tip: Andy only plays innocent girls, but they're not innocent. Pog.
They're innocent until you ask the question, why are you happy? And suddenly they're like, oh fuck, wall's been breached. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Kill them all. Exterminate.
My characters only go in two ways.
What do you mean? They only go in one way. That way is exterminate.
They either kill everything or die. There is no in between.
So
A
you're
happy
saying
life-
they're Daleks?
My head is. Oh, my head's been through so much whiplash today, and I love it. Like my brain went from like despair and sadness to overwhelming euphoria to relaxation. Pure relaxation. Knowing that I stabbed myself in the gut one night today.
Wait, there were wounds? What?
Oh no, like not anymore. Like I still have the scar. Like, wow.
Nah. That sesh right there, that's how you heal the scar. For me. The scar's
You.
gone.
The best part is that I know that healing has no effect on Etra. He's just in it for the ride. It's a robber repair sesh. Which
Yeah,
I mean,
basically.
and I'm perfectly fine with that. But every time I held the baton,
But I enjoyed it nonetheless.
I just have to add a little dark twist every time I say anything. There's a happy drawing. Talia isn't in it.
I know.
Ah, my baby.
So
My
cute.
baby.
I miss
Sign
her
the baton.
already.
Same.
Oh. Robert's punching me in the gut. It sucks.
Me punching you in the gut, surprise Pikachu face. Why would I ever do that?
Baby.
What do you
Looks at all the
mean?
stab wounds on Robert's emotions.
Oh.
Pulls up shirt. What do you mean? Me punch you in the gut?
Starts rubbing my stomach. Ah, that was a good punch. Ignores Robert's 70 wounds.
Those weren't even hard punches. I let you control how hard the punches were.
Oh, if you want to stab me, like, go for it. Like, go for it.
No, it's better that way.
No. No, don't get to move a good time. No, because I'm a sadomasochist too. It's amazing.
God, this is just a party of masochists.
Sadomasochist.
No, I'm not a sadist. I'm
Be
just a
surprised.
masochist.
I don't think you've ever tried torturing your players.
No,
And again,
I haven't. But I don't need to. I can find happiness without that, because I'm not a sadist.
You see, my style of DMing is just adjusting every time I play with you guys. Because my initial formula was, oh, my players are helpless, they're pieces of shit that like are just weak, make them stronger. But now it's like, the players are extremely strong-willed mentally, maybe not physically. So let's just mentally fuck with them. That was just.
Can I say something about this session that I fucking love?
Mm,
I love that my stats suck dick.
oh yeah, like I
I
fucking love.
fucking love that my stats fucking suck. Because when I roll with that +2, God, it feels like I'm Thessic Brain Arcana. I feel unstoppable when I have that +2. I'm like, I'm a fucking beast with my +2 Constitution save. I'm a fucking beast. It feels so good. Who needs stats anyway?
I shall not be dormant. Just dormant. My baton, I don't want to hold it. I don't want to hold it. I don't need it. I've had my fix today. Just mentally and physically torturing my body through just words and imagination.
My mom came in right at the end as I was describing Jericho flying off, and she was like, "Oh, I have to do like blah 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 tomorrow," and I like turned around, and like she was like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Because I just have red puffy eyes and just trails of tears down my face. And I just like gave her the thumbs up. I was like, "Yeah, we're good."
Robert
It's
looks to his mom,
so good.
bleeding. I fucking love this. Robert is such a fucking masochist.